Hey guys, it's Woody Mark here, coming with a brand new player predictions video. We are going to be doing some of the top players, I guess, along with, well, Lewandowski not shown in the thumbnail. So remember, these are my opinions. Like, a lot of these players I know about, but not too much about, and some of them have been injured, so it's sort of difficult to judge. So yeah, remember, these are my opinions. A lot I base on stats and what I've seen. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So the first player we are going to dip into is Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Now Ibrahimovic was injured a lot of the part of the season, I suppose, can't speak for some reason. So yeah, I decided to downgrade him by 1, even though his goal scoring record was still good. However, what you have to remember is Ligue 1 or Liga 1 or League 1 is a little bit lower, so you usually have to score more goals to deserve a higher rating. So I thought downgrade by 1 because he gets a little bit injured. Like, he is getting a bit old. It doesn't mean your ability goes down, but it means that the next season there's a chance it might go down. So I thought 89 was fair. Pace down by 1, dribbling is sensational, so I thought I buffed that. And then his passing and shooting, that I brought downwards. And defending, don't really watch his defending. And his physical, he is pretty tall and good in the air, so I thought 86 would make sense. So the next player I'm going to be talking about is Gareth Bale. And to be perfectly honest, this is the player I probably had the most struggles over, because it's sort of difficult because he's a good player. He was on form at the beginning of the season, well, sort of, and then he went out of form at the second part, but you've seen his ability and all that, so it's sort of complicated. But yeah, I gave him an 87 rating. You could give him down or an 86. I personally think he'll be fine the next season, so 87 will still be okay. I downgraded his pace and passing by 1, and to be honest, I kept everything the same, to be honest, because there's not that much you can change about him. Like, if you downgrade him to an 86, I'll decrease maybe his physical down by 1, his shooting a few. I thought his passing definitely didn't deserve to be an 83 because he hasn't been selfish per se, but he isn't exactly a great passer, and he's good at crossing, don't get me wrong, but he isn't a master of it per se. But yeah, overall, I feel Bale will probably do better next season, especially under a manager like Rafa Benitez, personally. I don't think he's good enough to manage Real Madrid, but I think he's very good with those kinds of players, I suppose. So yeah, we're gonna hop into the next player. Robert Lewandowski. 86 rating I decided to give him because I looked at his stats and I was like, did he really only score 17 goals in like 30 games? Don't get me wrong, that's still a good record. Well, in 31 games, I guess. It's still a half decent record, don't get me wrong, but I would have expected him to get near the 30 mark, especially of someone of that 87 rating caliber. That's it, just my opinion anyway. I could be wrong, but in a way I do see Lewandowski better than Rooney, so sort of ups and downs. But yeah, I decided to more or less downgrade him a lot. I don't really watch Lewandowski. I'm more or less based on his stats, and EA tend to look at stats rather than player. Well, actually, they've sort of got this scouting system, so yeah, that's another thing. So I expect his rating to go down by 1. I wouldn't be surprised if they kept it the same, to be honest, just because they might think, oh, 1 season Bayern Munich still won the Bundesliga and all of that. They might keep it the same, to be honest, so think of it as around the same, more or less, I suppose. So the final player we are going to be talking about is Robben, and I had to load up the picture now. I'm very good at this. Now, personally, I looked at Robben's stats, and obviously he always gets injured, so it's tough to judge him, but I personally think his stats were very, very good. He scored a good amount of goals. When I did see him play, like the few times, he's very, very good. He's a very good player, don't get me wrong. But I thought a downgrade of 1 because it's sort of like, if you're getting injured a lot of the time, you need to be sort of playing every match, and to get like a 90 rating, you've got to be sort of consistent, I suppose. Like, that's just my opinion anyway, and if a player's getting injured, then you never know. Some players don't recover from injury, e.g. Torres, might be Falcao, I don't know. Those two seem to struggle after injury, so you never know. But yeah, I downgraded his pace by 1, kept his dribbling the same because I doubt his dribbling would have changed, and passing -2, shooting passing -1, shooting -1. Personally think his passing was too high anyway, even at his best. I don't think his passing is an 83, to be perfectly honest, and his defending and physical I kept the same. But yeah, Robben's just one of those players that probably is just gonna dip dramatically downhill one day, you're never going to really see him sort of slowly dip down. I think one day after an injury he'll just pop down and go downhill personally. But he's a very good player nevertheless. So if you have enjoyed this special, well, why am I saying special video? That's absolutely absurd. If you enjoyed this video, hit like button, say why in the comments below, subscribe if you want to see more. I do apologise, a lot of these players I don't know too well, but I thought I'd give it a crack. You guys probably know better than I do. I think the ratings are around right. Most of them should be kept around the same. Wouldn't be surprised if some got upgraded by 1, downgraded by 1, downgraded by 2. It varies a lot. But yeah, hit like button, so Ryan Costellone. Do subscribe if you want to see more. So yeah, it's been Woody Wonka Mafia. See you guys.